And we'll meet at the bottom of our next exhale, wherever you are. And I just remembered in that moment of stillness to start recording. So sometimes it's important to slow down to remember what really matters in life. So inhale, let's reach our arms up towards the ceiling. Nice deep inhale, extend your arms up, fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling, hands face each other, and just allow yourself to stretch up. If you're not seated, come to a comfortable seat for this with your arms raising up, and then slightly gaze up towards the ceiling as well. A few breaths here. Allow your shoulders to come down away from your ears. And on your exhale, we're going to dive forward and come into a forward fold with your legs crossed. Bring your hands down on the ground, palms flat, arms extended alongside one another. You're just leaning over into a forward fold. Allow your head to drop. Good, and then inhale, press yourself up and change out the cross of your legs depending on how you're sitting. This will even out both sides of your hips. Make sure the other ankle is now in front of the other. Switching it out, and then inhale, arms come up to the ceiling, and exhale, dive forward one more time. Forward fold over your folded legs, drop your head and neck. Good, and then inhale, come back up. Find another comfortable position with your legs crossed. And then we're going to do a side bend. Bring your right hand down to the ground beside your right hip. Inhale, reach your left arm up, and then continue to reach it over to the right, doing a nice side arc. You can even bend the right elbow to allow yourself to get a little deeper into that side bend. The left arm is creating sort of an arch with the palm facing down as it leans over to the right. Feel the opening in your left side. You can gaze down, create a little less tension in your neck. And then inhale, come back up, and we'll switch out our arms. Now the left hand will come down beside the left hip on the ground. Inhale, right arm up, and continue to reach it over to the left. Side arc, stretching out the right side. Press the right hip down as you continue to lean to the left. Good, and then inhale, slowly come up. And we're going to bring our legs out wide to a V. Nice and wide. You can keep a slight bend in your knees. Flex through your feet. So you're kind of pressing the heels away from you. And then walk your fingertips forward into a forward fold. Stretching out the inner thighs and hamstrings. Drop your head and neck down as you fold forward, leaning forward into your hands, your forearms. And then continue to lean forward, but now walk your fingertips over to the right ankle. Clasp onto the right shin or ankle. And continue to stretch the right hamstring. And then begin to walk your fingers and hands over to the left ankle. Leaning over the left thigh. Legs are still in a V. Clasp onto your left ankle or shin. Allow your neck to relax, forehead towards left knee. And then slowly come back to center and press yourself up. I just realized my music stopped. That's all right. We're going to come to hands and knees when you're ready, tabletop position. So finding your way to hands and knees. Knees about hip width distance, hands directly under your shoulders. And from tabletop, we're just going to start by loosening our hips left and right. Wag your imaginary tails. And then create some circles with your hips, clockwise and counterclockwise. And then we'll meet in tabletop with a neutral spine, and in honor of our kitty cat, we're going to do some cat cows. This is a stretch just to accentuate the natural curvature in your spine. So for cat, you're going to draw the tailbone under, kind of like you're tucking the tailbone. That's going to create the low back to kind of invert. And then you're going to press down through your hands, draw your chin towards your chest, and create a nice rounded upper back. This is what cats like to do when they're hissing sometimes. So your gaze is towards your navel, chin towards chest, upper back is nice and round. Draw your tailbone down and under. And then for cow pose, we're going to gaze forward, allow your tailbone now to come back so that your low back has an arch in it. You're going to shine your chest forward, gaze forward, and then come back into cat pose one more time. And now your tailbone tucks under, arch through your upper back, gaze towards your navel, chin comes towards your chest. Feel the rounding of your upper back, and then one more time, exhale into cow pose, gaze forward, lower back has a dip in it now. Reach your chest forward as you gaze up. Good, and then find a neutral position in tabletop for our next series of poses, which will get you sweating, I promise. So we're going to start with clamshell. Well, no, this one is fire hydrant. So for fire hydrant, remember how we'll start with the right knee. We're going to hover the knee and shin off the mat, and then swing the right knee out to the right and back down, kind of swiveling it out to the side and down for 10, 15, or 20 reps on the right. Everyone is welcome to choose whichever number, and then you're going to match that with the left side. So working the outer right glute. If this is too much on your wrist, remember you can come into a fist, resting on your knuckles, your fists. Remembering to breathe. And once you've done that number on the right, switch over and do the same thing. Fire hydrant on the left. moving slowly, using the strength of your leg to lift and lower. Once you've done both sides, we're going to come back into tabletop. And this is a new one. I think only one of you knows this next one. This is called the donkey kick. So coming into tabletop, we're going to start by hovering the right knee off the ground, but then we're going to reach that right knee back, kick the foot towards the ceiling, knee stays bent, and you're just kicking up and then lowering down, kicking back up, lowering down. So the motion is more of like a kick back and up, donkey kick. So we're going to do this for same 10, 15, 20, however many you want on the right. Think about kicking that heel and the sole of your foot up to the ceiling as high as you can. I won't ask you to make donkey sounds because you're all muted, but that would be fun. All right, continue to kick that right leg back and up. And then when you're ready, you'll switch to the left side. Working the glutes as usual in this class. Remember to breathe. I'm not going to make you all do 2 rounds today, but I really will probably go there with you next week. So that's a warning. This week we'll do 1 round. Oh, my kitty cat almost got a donkey kick to her face. Sorry, kitty. Okay, so everyone's finishing up on their donkey kicks. Now we're going to come into bird dog. So for bird dog, remember we're going to reach opposite arm and leg. We'll start with the right leg back. So the right leg extends back, straight out, parallel to the ground. It's lifted. Left arm extends forward, straight in front of you, reaching in opposite directions. You can hold it for a more static pose, or you can go straight from left arm, right arm, left arm, right arm, opposite leg as you reach forward with the left arm, the right leg reaches back, forward with the right arm, left arm reaches back. You can make it more of like a march. Some of you might prefer to just hold that, and you can hold it for maybe 5 breaths and then do the other side. This is bird dog. And another option is to hold it and then lift and lower the arm and leg up and down. These are all variations of a similar type of exercise. Give you a few more moments here to explore the bird dog pose. And then once you're ready, come back to tabletop and just allow your hips to go from left to right, loosening your low back and hips one final time before you make your way up to standing. Once you're standing, we're going to just come to a nice wide stance and just allow your arms to swivel from left to right, doing a little side twist. Allow your arms to dangle as you just twist left and right, loosening the spine. Good, and then Allow your arms to drop down by your side. Bring your feet together. Inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling. Interlace your fingers and then lean over to the right to stretch out the left side of your body. Arms stay parallel alongside your ears. Inhale back to center and exhale over to the left, side arc to the left, stretching out the right side of your body. And then inhale back to center, arms are still straight up, and then slightly lean back, little back bend. Arms are parallel, leaning back, gaze up. And exhale, release your arms down to your side. Okay, so this next thing is going to require some endurance because I'm wanting us to do 3 exercises in a row without dropping your arms. So you all know these, we've done them before. They're the Y's, the W's, and the T's. And actually I'm going to add in one final one, the backward arm circles. So what this is going to look like is we're going to come into the Y's where you bring your arms straight up in the Y shape, and you're going to do where you lift your arms back and release for 20 of the Y's. Then you're going to go straight into the W's where your arms come down into kind of a cactus goalpost arms where your elbows bend. You're going to do 10 to 15 to 20 of those. Then you're going to come into the T's where your arms are straight out parallel and your palms face up, and you're just pressing the arms back and release for 10, 15, 20 of the T's, straight into the final backward circles where you're going to do 10, 15 to 20 backward arm circles. And by then your arms are going to feel nice and strong, okay? So that's a preview. I'm going to guide us through it, but now you know what's in store. So ready? We're going to start with the Y's, arms up, and we'll do 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are where your arms are pressing back and they stay straight in the Y position. Lost track of mine, but I'm going to go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 into the W's. So now my arms are going to bend to 90 degrees, palms face out, and then back up straight overhead. Lift and bend. For W's, 20, and aim for 20. We'll see how it goes. Arms straight, and then they bend, palms facing out. Lost track again. So I'll do another 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Straight out to T's, arms straight out, palms facing up, and I'm pressing my arms back and release for 10 to 20 of these. Arms stay parallel, and I'm just pressing them back slightly, and then they come to neutral. 10 to 20, palms facing up. And now my arms are feeling nice and heavy, but I'm not going to let them drop because now I got to do backward circles. Nice big backward circles. Arms are out parallel and they're doing circles for 10 to 15 to 20. And my arms are getting tired. My shoulders are getting stiff. And my kitty's looking at me like I'm crazy. And when you've done 10 to 15 to 20 of these, you've made it. You can drop your arms. Shake it out. Ouch. So that was a fun little series. Hope you enjoyed it. Now we're coming into some leg work. So we're going to do some squats. And I'm checking my notes here. Okay. Wide-legged squat. So your arms are going to come out wide. Arms, your legs. Legs are out wide, wider than your mat if possible. Allow your feet to point out. Kind of a, what do they call that? Pigeon toe? No, pigeon's when your toes are turned in. Duck feet. There you go. Nice and wide. And then you're just going to squat by bending your knees, squatting down, and pressing yourself back up. Bend and straighten, lift and lower, using the strength of your thighs and glutes to lift and lower. You can bring your hands to your waist, bring your hands interlaced behind your head, elbows bent. You can bring your hands wherever they want to go. Doesn't matter what your hands are doing because it's all in the legs here. Lift and lower for 20 if you can. That would be great if you all can do it. Wide-legged squats. Breathing. If you had some good music to help you along in class, I recommend it. Since you're muted, I wouldn't even hear your music. Okay, I don't know where you're at. I don't know where I'm at, but I'm going to go for another 5. Lifting and lowering for wide-legged squats. And then this next one, I don't think we've done before. So I'm going to go ahead and talk us through the side lunge. You want your legs super wide for this as well. So try to keep them just as wide as they just were. But this time you want your feet parallel. So you don't need your feet turned out for this one. Feet are parallel, wide-legged. And I'm actually going to turn my body so that my feet can stay on the mat. So I'm going to rotate so that I can have a wide stance on the mat. And then we're going to do some side lunges. So for this, we're going to lean to the right. Our right knee is going to bend. The left leg stays straight, and we're in a side lunge. So we're shifting our weight all the way into our right foot. The right knee is bent. The left leg extends straight. We're in a side lunge. And then you lift back up and then lunge to the left. The left knee bends. The right leg is now straight out beside you. You're leaning into the left leg, left lunge, side lunge. And then you come back up and we'll do it again into the right, side lunge to the right. You don't need to go super far down. If that's not available to you, just a slight bend, leaning into the right leg, keeping the other leg straight. As you keep doing this, coming up and then into the other leg, it's meant to be done in a rhythm. Left right leg, side lunge to the right, side lunge to the left. You can do 10 on each side. That would be awesome. You can go nice and slow. There's no rush. It's takes some focus and some stability to do this motion here. I have my hands clasped in front of me. For whatever reason, that helps me keep my balance. You guys can find what works for you. And you're working the inner thighs as you lean and lunge one side to the other. And once you've done about 10 in each leg, we'll go ahead and rotate back if you turned sideways on your mat and face forward one more time. Take a breath and bring your hands to interlace behind your low back for just a chest opener. So you're going to lift your arms behind you, straight back. Lift them off your low back press your chest forward, opening your shoulders. Good, and then release your arms, shake them out. Let's do, I want to do tree pose because we haven't done that one in a while. Tree pose is really just for balance. We're going to start by shifting your weight into your left foot. Ideally, you would be balancing on one leg. However, that's very difficult. So we start by modifying this and having the sole of the right foot pressed to the inside of the left ankle. The right knee is bent and you're balancing on the left foot and possibly the toes of the right foot. If you want, just try to slide that right foot up the inner left calf. A lot of the stability comes from pressing the foot into the thigh or the foot into the calf. That pressure is important. So think about pressing and counteracting each side of the body with the other. Creating a balance. Lift through your chest. You can bring the palms together at the center of your chest in a prayer position. Gaze forward, finding your drishti, your focal point. And if you fall out of your tree pose, you just come right back in. And then we'll slowly come back down and we'll do the other side. So tree pose on the other side. So the right foot is now the tree trunk grounding down through the floor. The left foot lifts to rest on the inner right ankle or inner right shin. The left knee is bent. Think about pressing the left knee out to open up the left hip. Hands together at the center of your chest, balancing on your right foot. And for tree pose, if you are balancing on your right foot with the left foot lifted and resting on the inner right shin or ankle, you are doing tree pose. And then we'll bring our feet back down and we're going to lower onto our back, down onto the mat. And we're going to try something new today. We're going to be a hip press, a variation of our bridge pose, sort of. And if you can't do what I'm about to instruct, go ahead and just go into bridge pose. However, today we're going to do a little something new. So maybe try it out, see if you can. For bridge pose, we bring our knees bent, soles of the feet flat on the ground, laying on your back, your head is down, arms alongside your body, palms facing down. See if you can dust the back of your heels with your fingertips. You might need to scoot your hips forward. Go ahead and do that. And then for hip press, we're going to take our left foot, lift it up to the ceiling to start. So we're still laying down on the ground, but this time our left leg extends, foot towards ceiling. And here's where the fun begins. You're going to lift up your hips, kind of like you would with bridge pose. You're going to lift your hips up and then lower, lift and lower, hip press with that leg extending up towards the ceiling. If you're like, absolutely not, that's not happening, no problem. Put your foot back down and just lift and lower your hips towards the ceiling and down. You can do the same thing without your leg lifted. And we'll try for 10 lifts on the left leg. Press your palms down to help give you strength as you lift your hips. You're going to feel this in your glutes. So your foot, it stays up towards the ceiling, and you're just lifting the hips. The leg doesn't move up and down necessarily. You're not doing a leg lift. You're doing a hip press. Hips come up, and then hips come down. The foot is just up towards the ceiling the whole time. Once you've done the left leg, go ahead and do the right. You'll start by kicking the right leg up, right foot towards the ceiling. Keep it there as you lift the hips up and down, up and down, for a hip press on the right side. Remembering to breathe. Nice job, everyone. Evening out both sides when you're done. Come back all the way down with your knees bent. Bring your arms out wide to a T with the palms facing up, and allow your knees to drop from side to side for the windshield wiper, just to relax and loosen your spine, little spine twist. Okay, and then we'll come back with your knees bent, soles of your feet flat. And this one is actually going to be more for your abdominals, and it's similar to what we just did with the windshield wiper twist, only this time we're going to lift our feet. So draw the knees towards your chest, and then allow the knees to drop to the right, and then lift them back up and drop them to the left. So you're lifting your knees and allowing them to drop from side to side. And this is going to work your side abdominal, the obliques. So normally we are just twisting and our feet are relaxed down on the ground. For this one, we have them lifted, and the weight of your legs will create a natural weight for you to be lifting your knees from side to side. Your arms can stay out wide to a T. And both of your feet stay touching as you bring both your knees over to one side, back to center, and over to the other side. Right, nice and slow for this, and you're gonna feel it just as much. My kitty cat's licking me. That's kind of annoying right now when I'm in the middle of abdominals. Okay. I lost track of how many were done, so when you're done with your side-to-side abdominal crunches, go ahead and draw your knees in towards your chest. Interlace your hands around the front of your shins and just rock from side to side. Massage your low back. And then drop your legs all the way down, straight on the ground, extended long. And then we're going to take our right knee in towards our chest. Interlace your hands around the front of the right shin. Squeeze the knee to the outside of the right rib cage. Hold that for about 5 breaths. Draw your chin towards your chest, creating length in the back of your neck. And then slowly release the right leg down and we'll switch sides. Squeeze the left knee to the outside of the left rib cage, hands interlace around the front of the left shin. Draw your chin towards your chest. Squeeze and hug that knee. Good, and then lower your leg back down. And we've done this one before, but it's been a while. This is banana pose. So take your right leg and bring it about a foot over to the right. And then take your left ankle and rest it on top of the right. The left ankle rests on top of right. Okay, good. Arms come up overhead. And now you're going to grab the left wrist with the right hand and tug that left arm over to the right. So think about your body making a little banana shaped crescent shape. So you're pulling the wrist with your right hand, drawing that right arm over to the right. And we're just going to hold that and breathe. Banana pose. And then release your arms and legs, and we're going to do the other side. So kind of come back to neutral shavasana on your backs. Take your left leg and bring that foot about a foot over to the left. And then take the right foot and rest the right foot and ankle over the left leg. So the ankles are kind of crossed now. And now bring your arms overhead, clasp the right wrist with your left hand and tug the arm over to the left. You're drawing the right arm and wrist over to the left. We're making a little side crescent now on the other side. Nice relaxing stretch. A few more breaths here. Now I have a kitty cat on my belly. Ooh, cat yoga. And then we'll come back to neutral on our backs. And we're going to roll over onto our stomachs. Sorry, kitty, but you can't stay here. We'll roll over onto our stomachs for a couple final poses here on our stomachs. We're going to start with our Sphinx pose. For Sphinx pose, you're going to be resting on your forearms. Your elbows are bent, elbows underneath your shoulders, forearms parallel, palms facing down. You're lifting up through your chest. Your legs are together behind you. If you can, have the tops of your feet flat down on the ground. And you're just pressing yourself up into Sphinx pose by holding your upper body up by having your forearms be the platform for you. And you're going to feel a little stretch in your low back, kind of compressing the low back here. And you're just resting on your forearms. The forearms, for those of you who are a little confused by forearms, that is the part of your arm from your wrist to your elbow. And your palms are flat on the mat, parallel, and you're resting on your forearms. Elbows beneath your shoulders, and you're just holding it. Legs are together, and you're breathing in Sphinx pose. Feel a nice compression in your low back. And you can hold this for a few more breaths, or if that's enough, you can come down and rest your head on your stacked palms and just breathe with your head resting on your hands. Okay, good. And we're going to come into our superhuman pose. One final back strengthening pose. So remember, for this, superwoman, superman, superhuman, your legs extend behind you, arms extend in front of you, and you're lifting up your arms and your legs, and you're resting on your pelvis bone, and you're holding that for a few breaths if you can. If that's completely not in your spectrum of movement, go ahead and just lift your legs or lift your arms. You can do one or the other if you can't do them both at the same time. And you're still superhuman to me. So go ahead, hold that for a few breaths, gaze down, lift up, resting on your pelvis, arms straight out in front of you, legs straight back. Using the strength of your low back. And then when you're ready, you'll come back down and rest your head on your stacked hands. Elbows are bent, hands on top of one another. And then once you're ready, we're going to roll back onto our backs. Once you're on your back, we're going to do my favorite supine twist. For supine twist, we'll start with the right knee in towards our chest, and then draw the right knee across your body and over to the left. Take your right arm out wide with the palm facing the ceiling. The left hand can be placed on the outer right knee to draw the knee down towards the ground as you simultaneously press the right shoulder blade down. So you're giving your spine a nice little twist here. Turn your head and gaze over the right extended right arm. And now I have a kitty cat on my thigh. Oh, this is funny. Okay, we're going to come back to center and switch out our twists. Move the kitty cat to the other leg. Draw your left knee in towards your chest. And then draw the knee across your body and over to the right. Left arm out wide, palm faces the ceiling. Take the right hand to assist the left knee towards the ground. Turn your head towards your extended left arm. Left shoulder press down to the ground. Supine twist. Inhale, come back to center. Give yourself one final hug. Knees in towards chest. Hands clasp around the front of your shins. And when you're ready, make your way into your final relaxation pose. Shavasana, lying on your back, taking up as much space as you need, arms wide, legs wide. Close your eyes and tap back into your breathing. Feel the rise and fall of your belly and your chest on each breath. Allow yourself to rest in stillness for the next few moments of class. More breaths wherever you are. See if you can deepen your inhales and your exhales. And then begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing your awareness back into your room. Then bend your knees and place the soles of your feet on the earth. When you're ready, you can roll over to your favorite side and slowly press yourself back up to seated. Come to a comfortable seat. We'll bring our palms together at the center of our chest, thinking of something that you're grateful for today. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open mouth exhale. Bowing down. All of you, thank you so much for coming and sharing your practice with me and Cali Kitty today. Namaste.